The Pat Kenny Show
on News Talk.
Now, I want you to have a listen to this clip.
Do you know which was a place in the Polish theoretical physics Olympiad? The first place of women, of girls. I can tell you, 800. Do you know how many women are in the first 100 of chess players? I tell you, no one. And of course, women must earn less than men, because they are weaker, they are smaller, they are less intelligent, and they must earn less. That's all.
And that's all. That's the voice of Polish right-wing MEP Janusz Korwin-Mikke speaking during a debate on the gender pay gap at the European Parliament last week. The controversial comments sparked outrage across the globe as the video circulated online. Well, yesterday, the President of the European Parliament, Antonio Tajani, announced that the 74-year-old Polish MEP will be suspended from the European Parliament for 10 days, forfeiting his daily subsistence allowance for 30 days, as well as being banned from representing the legislature for a year. Well, to hear more about his views on gender equality, I'm actually joined on the line by the MEP himself, Janusz Korwin-Mikke. Good morning.
Good morning.
Now, do you actually genuinely believe that women deserve less pay generally than men?
No, I never told that. I have told that if one is weaker and less intelligent, he must expect that he will get they will earn less, and that's obvious. For example, in NBA, the shorter basketballers get less money than the taller ones.
Okay, in the case of, say, someone who's building houses and have to carry concrete blocks, a weaker person would not be able to carry as many blocks in an hour. So you might understand that you'd pay someone by the number of blocks they carried, but you could have a big, strong woman and a small, weak man.
Okay, if there is a big, strong woman, she probably will earn more than the weak man, of course. I am a libertarian. I believe in the market.
Okay, so in the case of a woman then...
But I was talking about the average woman and average man. The average woman or the average man doesn't exist, of course, but it is only the scientific notion. But Mrs. Garcia Perez wanted to know why the average woman gets less than average man. So I explained.
So you explained that the average woman is weaker than the average man. The average woman is less intelligent than the average man.
Yes, of course.
Well, where did you get that information from?
But in the school. I was taught this in school. I was studying psychology in Poland. This in the school textbooks. Where have you been born? You know, before the Europe had been occupied by feminazis, it was a textbook knowledge. Now the governments and foundations don't give money for such researches, but they are done. The Lynch, for example, and so on. You can see the average mathematical scores in the United States in this done of the several hundred thousand of boys and girls, and the gender gap is much greater. It is more than 6 points.
But intelligence is measured.
It is a banal thing. You cannot discuss it with it. If somebody says that average woman is equal intelligence as a man, he is just an idiot who don't accept a reality. They believe in stereotypes imposed by the feminazis.
By the feminazis. But intelligence tests are usually based on elements of education, and for many historical reasons, women have been traditionally less well educated than men. If there was money in the family to educate one of two children, the boy would get the education and the girl would not.
No. You can look at the chess game. In the chess game, women spend as much time as a man, and in the first 100 of men, there is not even one woman. Now, sometimes it's one, and no special knowledge from school is necessary here. Absolutely.
So you say that in chess, which anyone can learn to play, that in the top 100 chess players, there are no women?
No. Sometimes there is one. Sometimes with Monika Pindashvili or Vera Mentik or Judith Polgar, but it happens. But well.
The reason, of course, could be a simple statistical one, that far more men may choose to play chess than women.
No. There was a competition in Warsaw several years ago during the communist times. There was competition in writing on the typewriter, and there were 300 competitors, and the one man, he won. You must understand. The gender gap is very small. It is 2 to 6 points. It depends on nation. But there is something much more important. The men are more dispersed on the scale. So there is more geniuses and more idiots, more saints and more criminals among men. So among the highest class, it is always will be the men. Even on average, women are better cooks or better tailors than men. But in the top echelons, it is the men who are the best tailors and best cooks.
In the top echelon, many of the chefs, of course, in the top restaurants are male, and yet stereotypically much of the cooking in people's homes is done by women.
Yes, because the women are better usually, but this dispersion is more important than the small difference in intelligence. And moreover, I have forgotten to tell, the men are more intelligent, but women are wiser than men. The wise, it is not something different than intelligence. For example, a 15-year boy is usually more intelligent than his mother, but she is much wiser than he is. You must discern this two. And by the way, the women have much better memory than men. Why? Nobody says that I am offending men, telling that women have better memory than men. Nobody accusing me of that.
Do you think that you're misunderstood, that it's your choice of words? Because intelligence, memory, empathy, wisdom, they're all qualities which add up to the total human being. And maybe when you look at all the qualities and not just one narrow one of IQ tests, that men and women may be absolutely equal, or perhaps women superior to men when you add up all the scores.
Yes. For example, women has better memory, so the women has pushed off the men from the secretary jobs. Secretary should have a good memory, and therefore most secretaries are women.
So what you're saying is that there are different skill sets which typically are demonstrated by the two different genders.
Yes, exactly so.
Okay. You got yourself into trouble, though. That subtlety was lost on the European Parliament, and you've now suffered. You've been suspended. You've lost your allowances.
Oh, Giordano Bruno, he was being punished by something much more than I. So I am not being intimidated by the terror. I was told I believe in European values, and one of the European values is not to yell to the terrorists.
By the way, did you expect your remarks would cause the fuss that they did cause?
I don't know, but the effect of my speech and the very strong reaction showed that I was struck in the heart of the system. Because, the communists were trying to get the power on the back of the worker class. And if I said in 60s that workers are less intelligent than, say, clerks or engineers, it was exactly the same reaction. Now the communists are trying to get the power using women, ecologists, and so on and so on. And I have struck in the very heart of the system, I tell you.
In the European Parliament, of course, men and women are paid absolutely equally.
Of course. Of course.
So you don't have an issue with that, because I presume you believe that only intelligent women get elected to the European Parliament.
Yes, of course there is plenty of intelligent women. I know some women who are more intelligent than I am. I know women chess players who are better in chess than I am. In bridge, perhaps now I am a rather old man, so even in bridge, such a game, they also, I find women better than I am.
Now, the extraordinary thing for people looking at your views to discover that one of your heroes or heroines in life was Margaret Thatcher.
Yes, of course. And she said that she don't women to vote because if the women were voting, she would never become a prime minister. But because the majority of the people who chosen her for being a chief of the Conservative Party and therefore a prime minister was men. If the women were voting, the women will choose some men because women vote for men. And it is not in interest of women that the women vote.
Now, you're clearly fond of women because you've married 4 times.
Yes, I love women. I have plenty of women. I adore women. Believe me, women understand that the best friend is a man, not a feminist or a government. It is the women, they're choosing their husbands, and it is better to be ruled by their husband than by government or by the feminist. I don't know the Irish feminists, but I am sure there are some, and I'm absolutely sure that they are idiots.
So women would prefer to be governed by their husbands than by feminists?
No. But by women ruled by feminists, no. It is like workers being ruled by the activists of the trade unions.
Yeah. I mentioned that you've been married 4 times. It means that 3 times your women got tired of you. I mean,
no.
Or did you get tired of them?
2 are dead, unfortunately.
All right. Well, my commiserations on that.
Oh, no.
But you enjoy the company of women, quite clearly.
Of course, but I like intelligent women. No, how do you tell which woman is intelligent if they is driving the car?
Yeah.
Because, in the Formula One, there are no women. Still, there are women who are driving cars properly. Because when she sees a woman driving, she say, "Get off my way, you stupid, you stupid woman."
Yeah, and do you see this on the streets in Poland and the streets of Brussels and Strasbourg? Do you see do you remark that women are less good at driving than men?
In 8 times in 10, I can tell you the driver before of me is women or a man.
If a driver does something stupid, that 8 out of 10...
No, not necessarily to be. She is careful. She drives carefully, but not aggressively. And men are paid better because they are aggressive. They are trying to be before. They are trying to give. I can tell you in bridge. I was a trainer of women bridge team. By the way, I don't know what was in Ireland, but in Polish, in all the women teams of basketballers, footballers, volleyball, handball, and so on, the trainers, the coaches are always men. The women choose men to be their coach. In all teams, in bridge too, and in chess too. And I am sure in Ireland too. No woman who is a bridge player or chess player will say that the women play chess as well as men. But I tell you something very, very characteristic. When after the board, I was discussing the board, bridge board with women, the women say, did I play it properly? The man asks, do I play the best? Because women usually obey the rules, and men break the rules, and because inventors are always men. In Poland, there are inventions. It's only 1.5% of the inventions has been realized by women. 98.5% by men.
Yeah, but again, I would put it to you that perhaps schooling has something to do with it, that, in older times, men got the education, men learned about science and things like that, women didn't, so logically they would come up with the ideas.
Yes, but now in Poland, more MA degrees, even in mathematics, got girls. And I have 8 children. 6 of them have been in school. The 2 of them are too young. I was talking with 7 teachers, all were women, of mathematics. And I swear that only 6 of them understood mathematics. Only one of them understood mathematics. Six. Of course, they knew the formulas by heart, of course, but they didn't understood the idea of mathematics.
The reaction that people have had to you, I mean, some people would regard you as being utterly sexist, misogynist, that you don't like women, that you put them down all the time, that it flies...
No. In the European culture, the women had privileges, not equal rights, but privileges. Therefore, Colette, such a writer, French writer, said, a woman who thinks she is intelligent demands the same rights as man. An intelligent woman gives up. And because intelligent woman wants to have privileges. And in Arab culture, the women were underprivileged. In European culture, the women had privileges. And it is good for women.
You've got yourself into trouble before. I believe that in a protest against the taxation system in Poland, you actually ate your tax return. You actually swallowed it.
Of course. Yes, I swallowed it, yes, as a protest. But, of course there must be some taxes by libertarian, but I believe that some taxes are unnecessary, but not income taxes. Income taxes is a penalty for doing well. And income taxes must be liquidated. It can be introduced in the United States in 1913, and 100 years is enough.
You also were sanctioned for referring to migrants as garbage.
No. I cited only the Congolese diplomat. And for citation, I have been punished.
for quoting somebody else?
Yes.
Yeah. You don't seem to be too bothered by the disapproval that you were suffering as a result of your comments.
No. If my views had been shared by majority of people, I would think there is something wrong with my views. Majority is always stupid. There are more stupid ones than the wise man. So if majority doesn't support me, I am not.
All right, so you're happy not to go along with the generality of thinking?
Yes, of course.
Now, you realise that I'm looking at some of the comments from my listeners, and they are all pretty much outraged by your views. Some of them think that you are the one who's an idiot and not the world at large. What do you say to those people?
I tell them that you are the very good presenter, very good, and because you asked and you understood what I say, after this audition, their views will change.
You think my views will change? All right. Well, look, thank you.
No, not your views. the views of those who listen to us.
If they listen,
I think it will be much changed. Look at the commentaries after this audition. Okay.
Okay. We'll wait to see what comes in from our listeners. Janusz Korwin-Mikke, a Polish MEP who's been sanctioned by the Parliament. Thank you very much for joining us.
The Pat Kenny Show on News Talk.